did that recovery teach you about the body and mind that you couldn't have learned any other way?
Your body's natural intelligence to heal is far more powerful than any medicines can tap into. When you have the awareness of this whole skill sets, the breath work, like everything that ancient Indian wisdom practices. I like to call it the ancient Indian wisdom and not Hinduism, because a lot of people in this world look at Hinduism as a religion. Practically, it's a way of life. It's very scientific. And so if you're able to have that awareness and incorporate it in your daily life, you can have extraordinary results. And I'm not saying that medical system is not needed. You have to have the medical system, because I needed those heavy medicines like tramadol, morphine drips, and morphine is a type C drug which is highly monitored.
So, hello, Ishita.
Hello.
Good afternoon there.
Good afternoon.
It's absolute privilege to have you on my podcast, and thank you very much for joining today from Singapore. While there's a time difference between two regions in India and Singapore, thank you very much for accommodating the time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
And I would also like to thank you for being a founding coach on Boundless You.
Um,
So,
the opportunity wouldn't have happened if we did not connect.
absolutely, absolutely.
And you did not think that I was, because you were finding suitable coaches to be a part of your mission, and I'm honored to be looked at one.
Great to have you on Boundless You. For me, just for our viewers, Boundless You is a life space redesign for mid career professionals, those who find themselves stuck in various areas. And the objective of the mission of Boundless You is to support people, those who are stuck in any area of their life, with suitable coaching. And that is where I was looking for the suitable coaches, and I found you, Ishita, to be one. And those you come with a very distinct sort of niche, I would say, which is you're bridging Indian in ancient wisdom and modern science. So we'll talk about that, and that is what attracted me towards getting you on board on Boundless You. And I wholeheartedly thank you for accepting my invitation for that.
I'm honored and humbled that you see the value of what I'm bringing into, because it wasn't an easy feat. um, it's something that I've been extremely mindful, because I do not want to be considered as a spiritual guru, even though a lot of the wisdom from ancient India is driving towards spirituality. Uh, and the only distinction I would like to make personally is that I'm a practitioner, and I have witnessed a lot of results, and all the leadership ability, or the thought of stepping back and reevaluating the scenario, is something that I'm actually l- getting it from the ancient Indian wisdom. So even though it was written like centuries ago, but it's still relevant because the principles do not change. It's the operational aspect of those elements that change into uh, that change, but the principles remain. the the seed is still the same.
Okay, before we get to know more about yourself, let me give a brief introduction of yours. So, viewers, today I'm speaking with Ishita Kumar, one of our founding coaches at Boundless You. Ishita was born and raised outside India mostly, yet somehow carries the country's oldest wisdom, the Gita, the Mahabharata, the Vedas, like it's part of her own journey and memory. Years ago, a massive car accident forced her into a recovery which no doctor could fully explain. What brought her back wasn't just medicine, it was this ancient knowledge she had quietly carried her whole life. That healing became her calling. Today, she helps high performers release what the nervous system has been holding on to sitting at the intersection of ancient Indian wisdom and modern science. This is her journey from the audience to the stage to now helping others heal the way she once did. Ishita, welcome. So we start, and here is what I will start with the first question. You have never lived in India, yet Hindi and Indian wisdom feel woven into who you are. Where did this connection actually begin?
Because of my parents.
All right.
So my parents are very liberal, but having said that, they wanted to ensure that I'm able to converse in my native language with my grandparents and my relatives in India.
All right. Fabulous. So was there any specific moment growing outside India when you felt pulled towards these ancient texts and the ideas? Or did it happen slowly without you noticing?
No, it is again because of my parents. So my parents would, as I was growing up, my parents would bring all these, back in the days it was video, like, VCR, so video cassettes. So they had Ramayan, Mahabharat, Vishnu Puran, uh, all those series back in the days, like in 90s. So they would also bring like scriptures books. Like I have my personal Sukmani Saipat written in English and translation in English as well because I can't read Hindi. I
Mhm.
can speak. I'm good at speaking, but I can't read and write Hindi. So it's all because of my parents. And there was a time where I actually started questioning this whole scriptures because I grew up in Hong Kong and and I was exposed to the cosmopolitan city, like different people, different nationalities, different race, um, and they were performing something completely different than what we would. Like I had Muslim friends who would fast for 1 month during Ramzan, and it was very strict. Even like kids at the age of 10, 11 would practice it with no water, while my fasting impression was, okay, you know what, you're skipping your meals but you can still drink water. So that raised even more curiosity, like what's the difference. And then after some time I actually walked away from the spiritual side of the world for like a few years, um, because I felt this is all just a business. Like it's just to, like, how we get education, like,
Mhm.
kindergarten, primary school. I felt the spirituality was also business in that sense. Like, what, you are selling business, like you're selling knowledge, but a different kind of knowledge. So then, and not many people practice it because, like, I mean, even if you go to a Harvard or a Stanford University, how many graduates from these universities actually are the contributor of the entire world? Hardly a few, right? Like, they're just really handful of, uh, and having said that, even Steve Jobs, he's a dropout of one of these Ivy League universities. So, but how many people would actually create a name for themselves? So in my head, I had these questions. Uh, you know what? It's just a business. It's just those elements. And since I mentioned it's because of my parents had instilled this uh, principle or thought that whenever you're stuck in life, just visit a place of worship, go there, pour your heart to the divine intelligence, and your questions or your problem will be solved. So I did that until that gap I had in spirituality where I felt that it's all a business. So once when I was in the UK, when I was studying in the university, first year of university, I felt something um, that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought to myself that, what would I do before me questioning this whole spirituality aspect of it? It was me going to a place of worship. So even though I did not worship for like three years, I would avoid my friends also, like, okay, you know what, I have some work, I do not need to go to the temple or something. I would never uh, impose my quest or my what do you say, my thought processes onto someone else. It's their faith, let them go. But it was a Saturday night. I was contemplating, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in Southampton. That time I was in Southampton University. So, Southampton University is a very small city. Like Singapore, you can actually walk around the entire city through for the entire day and you will complete it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sunday morning, I decided to walk the entire city to find a place of worship. So as soon as I got to the main road, I saw a Sardarji like with the pug, like with the
Mm-hmm.
pugri
Mm-hmm.
on a cycle. And I'm like, it's a Sunday morning. This Sardarji would be going to a Gurdwara.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let me, like, it's a first sign, let me follow through. I was on the opposite side of the road and he had entered one alley. So I crossed the road and I went into the alley. Then I still saw that Sardarji turning into one lane, but he was way ahead of me because he was on a cycle. And I'm like, I'm not going to run because I'm never going to catch up. Anyway, this is a sign. So I walked towards that lane and I turned right and the Gurdwara was right there.
Wow, that's
So
fantastic.
when I it's it's just that, you know what, even if you are angry, like, like, I consider the divine intelligence or the universal consciousness as your mother and father, like your spiritual mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, you can be angry with the universal consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
but the universal consciousness is filled with unconditional love. So the day when you decide to turn back into this field, it will lay out all the ways, all the avenues for you to reach your destination. So in my head, I was happy to walk the entire day, but within 10 minutes, I was at the Gurdwara.
Wow.
So
So you
that,
spoke, yeah, great. You
sorry.
spoke, sorry, you spoke two things. I just want to dwell a little more on that, which is you talked about divine intelligence, and you contemplated on Saturday, decided on Sunday to go and visit temple. What crossed your mind? What happened?
Because that's what I would do before my quest for, like, is this even genuine? So I decided, and the minute I stepped out of my house, I saw the intervention from the universal consciousness, right? What are the odds that I had never seen uh, a Sardarji with the pagri on that lane before? So
Are
it
you
was,
indicating that it was your intention? The moment you had brought that intention, you saw the sign and you followed the sign.
yes, because my intent was to go to a place of worship on that Sunday, on that particular Sunday.
As it is said that when student is ready, teacher appears.
Yeah, what you seek is seeking you.
Yeah, fabulous. Great example of that. All right, so let's move. And
And
yeah,
actually, that was the starting point of me to look deeply into the wisdom from India. Like, what is it exactly teaching us?
hmm, well, that's fabulous. So that was the day your quest started for Indian ancient wisdom in great sense.
Deeply,
Deep.
deeply involved. Like, what is it teaching us? What is it standing? What is the culture? What is the tradition? because a lot of people are just following the rituals without actually understanding the essence of it. For example, yoga has become a phenomena around the world for the last 20 years, right? But a lot of people in the outside India are still looking, actually, even in India, are looking at yoga as a form of physical fitness. But there is so much more to it. Physical fitness is just like a fraction of what the ancient wisdom is projecting to. You have to be physically fit, obviously, because when you are physically fit and when you are increasing your cell's vibrational frequency, like your aura, uh, in order to hold the strength of uh, that vibrational frequency, you have to be fit, you know.
Hmm.
And then you can go a lot more deeper and a lot more powerful. Like your energy is much more powerful. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
So we'll get to know more about it as we progress in our discussion. But this is quite intriguing to know that yoga, while people are just taking as a fitness kind of regime, but there are a lot more. And you're saying it is fraction. It's only a fraction of what yoga is projecting, being projected.
Yes, because when you're practicing yoga, it's actually the way I describe yoga is that when someone is practicing yoga, they're actually massaging their organ systems based on which asana that is.
Hmm. I see. Okay. We'll get to that in a while. So, in our conversation earlier, you spoke about one major incident or other accident which happened. So, if you're okay, if you can take me back to that accident, which kind of
Okay.
changed your life, and when modern medicine was there, but you somehow fell back on the wisdom, Indian wisdom we are talking about. So, if you can just speak about that.
So I was a pedestrian crossing the road, and a car had hit me, and I was thrown 10 feet across the street.
That's terrible.
And I do not know how long I was unconscious for, because I was so when I gained my consciousness, the first thing I noticed that I am pooled with a lot of blood around. So there was this I don't know, like, can you see this mark over here?
I can see that. Yes, 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 it is.
It's faint, yeah.
Mhm.
So the blood was flowing like tap water from this side, and I could not move my entire body. I could just move my hands a little bit. So there was this English lady who ran towards me asking me if I live alone. And I'm like, no. Do I live with someone? Yes. Where is my phone? So she went and picked up my phone from my handbag and gave it to me. And that was the moment when a paramedic on the motorbike had actually had arrived at the scene. So I really do not know how long, because in London the distances are quite far off. So I don't know the duration. I just know that the lady ran towards me. I called my husband and I told him, something has happened on the main road. Please come down. And when the paramedic saw the distance between me and the car, he literally held my neck. Don't move was his instruction, like straight away. Don't move, because I may damage the the bone or whatever, because you don't really know the damages that I encountered. Obviously, it was known that I had uh, broken bones. So then that's when my husband came, and as a paramedic, he is trained to make sure that the family member is calm. So he quickly diverted my husband's attention, like, have you got your your wallet or things like that? The ambulance is on the way. So we will be taking her to the hospital straight away. So please go and come back. And yeah, so when we reached the hospital, obviously the paramedic went to pick up, like more people to attain to take care of me. My husband had that 1 minute, and he's like, "You're lucky to be alive. We don't know the damages yet." And then, I mean, I had 8 nurses who took me, like, because they had to do a full body X-ray.
Hmm.
So I had 8 nurses swiping me from the bed I was in to the machine. 1, 2, 3, zoop, like I'm in the machine. And once they have done all the X-rays, and then again they called 8 nurses, come, we need to, because I was in a debilitating condition. I was bedridden. I was not allowed to move at all. So again, from the machine back to the
Good.
stretcher, like, like 1, 2, 3, eight people doing that. And the first thing they did was to put a catheter because of I'm immobile.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then like they have to stop the blood flowing out, right? Because uh, I was losing a lot of blood.
Mhm.
And the thing is, the way how your human body functions is that the oxygenated blood gets to the all the organ system in the body, which we have 14 organ systems. It's the blood that helps to revive and make it active. So if the blood is flowing like tap water, it would be compromising my other organ system. So this was the first thing that they had to cater to.
Mhm.
So it took the surgeon for my head 2.5 hours to stitch my forehead.
Terrible.
Uh, yeah, but within that 50, it's terrible for you, but for me, it gave me that time to practice what I've learned for 4 years.
Yeah, terrible to just hear that entire incident. When I'm hearing it's terrible that 2.5 hours of suffering, besides that, the number of hours you were before that. So, yeah,
So, I mean, 2.5 hours, but they have done a really good job
they did good
until I
job.
do not like point it out to
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah,
It
yeah,
can
yeah.
be, but
It-
this is a mark for me to always be grateful for what I have. This is the only thing that I have from the accident. So within the 15 minutes of them doing, stitching my forehead, the A&E doctor came and announced that, a senior surgeon will come and put metal implants to join her bones because I had multiple fractured bones, my spinal, my pelvic, and my leg. So, and because I had gone very deep into the ancient Indian wisdom, and I was practicing as well, I was learning. And in that, I was learning that, your body is the most powerful machine you will ever tap into. And it has the ability to heal itself. Give it time. So after I heard the A&E doctor, and while this doctor was like stitching my forehead, not realizing that it's going to take 2.5 hours, I started practicing my breath work. I couldn't move because I was bedridden. So I was practicing my breath work. I was practicing my mantras because all the mantras in India are from Sanskrit or Sanskrit mantras. So I was practicing those Sanskrit mantras with my breath and projecting it to my entire body. And this was prior to that, I closed my eyes and I communicated with the divine intelligence. I don't care what you do. I am naturally healed, and that is your responsibility. And I kept practicing what I was practicing. So for people who want to know which mantra that I was practicing, it is Mahamrityunjaya mantra, which is commonly known as the healing mantra. So I was practicing the Mahamrityunjaya mantra alongside with my breath. to make sure that my vibrational frequency is increasing in every cell of my body. So it took the surgeon to 2.5 hours. Once he was done with it, actually, one set of local anesthetic is the duration is only 1 hour. But because it was such a nasty hit, like it was a nasty scar, they had to put twice on my area so that I don't feel it. So that guy was literally chopping, sewing in such a way that it's done really well. And then after he was done for 2.5 hours, then he went to the senior surgeon. And by the time the senior surgeon came, normally in such a serious accident, you can have short-term memory loss. You can not recognize, or your cognitive abilities has been affected. Your You're not able to respond to people, but over there I was able to respond to all the questions that they were asking me. What happened was when the senior surgeon asked me to raise my legs. So based on my injuries, I wouldn't have been able to raise my legs. But because for over 2 hours, I kept on practicing my Mahamrityunjaya mantra with my breath and everything, and my command to the universal consciousness. I am naturally healed and it's your responsibility. I raised my leg with a lot of pain though, but I was able to raise it. So the whole point of putting the metal implants to join my bones was to be able to move. So because it was an A&E case, the senior surgeon thought that maybe the the you know the reports they are seeing is not mine. So what the senior surgeon did was they made me go through the x-rays again. The whole process was done again. Again, the 8 nurses, swiping me from the machine and back. So when he received he's and they kept me on hold for the operation then, because if I'm able to move and with difficulties, that's fine. It's yeah, that's what happened.
So the second X-ray report came out to be different than the
The
first one.
same. No, it was the same.
Same.
So that's when, because of the fact that it was the same, he came in again, asked me the same questions, the same the same thing happened. I was able to raise my knee with a lot of pain though, but I was able to raise my knee.
Because of your
So
internal strength of the mantras which you were reciting and
it's
the
the mantra that
vibration
is the
energy.
grace, right? Because when you become the channel, like when you are a clear channel with the divine intelligence, these things are bound to happen. And so he came, and then they were like, we can't do it because she's moving. So I had multiple sets of doctors coming and asking me the same questions, like, is this possible? Because they were also witnessing that something is off over here. Like, what is it? Like, why aren't we taking her to the operation theater? Because of the injuries I had three different departments taking care of me. I had the head injury, so it was the head nervous system. I had the spinal cord, then I had the pelvic, and then I had the leg. Like I had three different departments, and they all had to communicate. And they all just kept coming on that the first day, asking me this to do the same thing over and over again. By the third time, when they came and another set of doctors were coming, in my head, I knew I'm being enveloped in this divine aura that is helping me move, and that's what they are witnessing. So I knew, because I had already commanded to the divine intelligence, I am naturally healed.
It's nothing short of miraculous. For
it's
us, for
it's a
people, though,
science.
I mean, since we have not, sorry, that first of all, that kind of things nobody should witness. It's very sorry for somebody to go through like this kind of pain. But we are living in this life. Anything can happen in this world.
Yes, I agree that no one should experience that. But having said that, if I did not experience that, I would not have this conviction, this confidence that it can work for someone else. Because if I can do it, anyone can. I'm
And do
not special, I'm
it.
not extraordinary. I'm an ordinary human being who has embraced the knowledge to its truest form, practiced it, and surrendered because I did not know what the results would be, right? Because in my one of my doctor's um, report asking my family to fly down to London to take care of me was, and doctors would be very careful portraying like what the actual situation is. So the doctor has clearly put over there, this patient has been involved in a road traffic accident, and she would potentially have lifelong injuries, and we would require the next of kin to come and take care of her. So, and it's only when the people are in front of you they would realize the situation and they would adapt to it, right? If people are far away, they won't be able to acknowledge or even understand the gravity of it, right? They would worry and make their life a lot more miserable.
Totally
So
agree.
I'm glad that this has happened because I'm a living testament of what our Indian ancient wisdom projects and work on. And I don't have any mental, emotional, and physical limitations. And it's all the grace that has been bestowed upon me. And if it is bestowed upon me, I would like to share that with the world.
That is fabulous to hear. Fabulous to hear. And um, yeah, I have no words to basically interpret that and say anything on this because obviously you have gone through, you have experienced it. So what you can speak and say is known to you only. Possibly I can just listen and just be in awe of the recovery which you have gone through. That's only expression I can give right now.
It's the grace. You have to acknowledge the grace. You have to build your relationship with the universal consciousness to achieve similar elements in your life, for be it productivity, be it performance level, be it being a leader, be it because some of the leaders, they either take space or they make space.
Hmm.
People who, like, leaders who are taking space, it would be very suffocating for the followers or the people below him or her to be in that environment, right? So I am definitely all about democratic leaders because they are making space for others to grow, and it's like a win-win situation, right? Like if I'm leading a team, I need to make sure that morals and the environment is positive, because when the environment is positive, the results are positive, and we are able to produce more and build a reputation, because that's what business is all about.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
And then, yeah, and when you are giving your team members the freedom, the opportunity to express themselves, that's when you're thinking on different perspectives, because everyone comes from a different perspectives and different cultures and different backgrounds. You are also growing alongside with them. And obviously people have different responsibilities, but at the same time, if they are able to come and express where they need help, that is a sign of trust, that is a sign of um, that comfort and approachable leader should have. So whatever I'm saying can be looked into different aspects of life, especially in business, because we spend one third of our life working in the corporates or working in the professional aspect in our life. So make it enjoyable for people around you, and that's when you can reach successes. That's when you can sustain the success. It's not about reaching the pinnacle of success, it's about sustaining there, so that the reputation, the intangible assets are shown a lot more strongly, and people like your clients would want to also work with you.
True. Totally agree. Totally agree. Okay. So, one last question on this particular part is looking back, what did that recovery teach you about the body and mind that you couldn't have learned any other way?
Your body's natural intelligence to heal is far more powerful than any medicines can tap into.
All right.
So when you have the awareness, when you have the awareness uh, of this whole skill sets, the breath work, the like everything that ancient Indian wisdom practices. I like to call it the ancient Indian wisdom and not Hinduism, because a lot of people in this world look at Hinduism as a religion, but practically it's a way of life. It's very scientific. And so if you're able to have that awareness and incorporate it in your daily life, you can have extraordinary results. And I'm not saying that medical system is not needed. You have to have the medical system, because I needed those heavy medicines like tramadol, morphine drips, and morphine is a type C drug which is highly monitored. And I'm not sure if you are aware. I'm pretty sure that some of the audiences would not know that if the medical science raises their hand saying that there's no cure, they actually use morphine to put the patient to sleep so that their sufferings can end. So having said that, I needed that morphine drips. I needed that tramadol, which also has the morphine substance in it. I needed I couldn't be on tramadol for long, because if I did, then my body would be accustomed to that adrenal that
Mhm.
morphine can give to the body, right? So I wouldn't have been able to manage the discomfort my physical body was having, had those medicines not been there. But having said that, like, sorry, let me think through it. Modern medicine helped me with my acute issue. Ancient Indian wisdom helped me to tap into my body's intelligence, and my healing required both together.
Okay.
Yeah. I
That is
hope
where
that
you're
sums up.
blending. Yeah, that is where you're blending these two things together now in your coaching modalities as well. All right. Now, going forward, there's a real distance between sitting in the audience and healing quietly. That was one state. And now, standing on the stage helping others heal. What moved you across that line?
Mr. Ron Malhotra.
Would like to hear more about it.
Okay, so it took me 3 years to recover completely, and I was looking to get a job in the corporate world, right?
Mm.
Because I've done my uh, graduation in business, and I strongly believe that business skills are required in every industry, irrespective of whether you're in art, creative, a celebrity, like, into music or anything. Business skills are required, because finance, sales, and marketing, all of that is needed in every form of uh, work on this planet. So I wanted to get back to the corporate world, but because of the gap that I had, none of the recruiters were taking my CV. They were like, sorry, you have a gap. And now I think because of AI, it's going to be even more difficult because AI is advancing literally within days. So my worry is how will people manage that gap,
Mm,
right?
mm.
So
True.
I had all these dilemmas. And the thing is that my family members, like my husband and my family, did not want me to speak about my accident because it was traumatic for them as well. Because taking care of me, like, getting unconscious with simple movements. Like now I'm just moving my head here and there, right? But back then when I was recovering, even like moving my neck from center to sideways would make me unconscious for an hour or so. Even like any movements would make me unconscious. I was in a very delicate state, right? So can you imagine the family members was also going through that phase with
Same.
me,
Very true.
and it was traumatic for them. So after 3 years they turned around and said that, you know what, after today, now that you're completely fit and fine, we don't want you to talk about it. We don't want to remember that phase where you were on a wheelchair or anytime. We just do not want to remember that. We are thankful that you're perfectly fit and fine. And so, yeah, it was because whenever I spoke about it, it was traumatic for them as well. And so, yeah, so Ron Malhotra, he turns around and he's like, why are you wasting your life? And, you have such a powerful story to share.
Mm.
And at that time, I looked at him and, I felt he was crazy. Like, has he not lived life? Has he not seen what reality, uh, like, is he dreaming? Like, people would want to hear from me. So I actually gave him thousands of reasons why I shouldn't be sharing my journey. And he gave me the flip side of it, all the positive reasons for sharing it. And in my head, all these recruiters are refusing to take my CV. My friends who are in the HR department, they turn around and are telling me to disown my journey, build something that is more positive around your journey. Like, like just build something, or cook up a story and share it with the employers. This one guy is telling me, own your journey and share it with the world. I'm like, for what? you know? So, yeah, I mean, all the credits go to him that I'm able to share it with the world now confidently. So he is the reason. And first of all, I had to be convinced that I had to share with the world. After that, I had to convince my family members. And one of the objections I actually received last week, like, they're family, but if it's something that you want to do, you should do it. So my response to them was like, no, because they are family, I need to ensure they are comfortable about me owning my journey, because by the end of the day, it's my family who stood by my side.
True. Very true.
And also in the ancient wisdom, if you look back, it says charity begins from home. So if I don't have my personal, like my family's strength, like, it's their strength that I'm standing on their shoulders and able to have this um, conversation with you. If they did not support me, I would always feel something is lacking. So yeah, that's
Again,
my
this
take.
value. Again, this comes from the value system, the family value system, the Indian value system. We are not individualistic. We are very, very social collective as a society.
Yeah. And that's where a collective consciousness, when we are collecting people around in our umbrella, that's the only way we will be able to vibrate even stronger and provide more positivity around our community.
Fabulous. Very strong thought process around that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I guess it's something that I believe Ron also witnessed, and he did not give up on me, even though I was frustrating him.
Hmm. Very true. He's a fantastic as gem of person. I think we both are speaking today for one common reason, and that reason is Ron only.
Yeah,
Yeah. My
def-
journey also started with he being my mentor back in 2023. Yeah.
yes,
So we have common
yeah,
reasons to celebrate and talk about.
of
All
course.
right. So, do you remember the first time you helped someone else the way you had once helped yourself? And what did it feel like
It
from
was my
healing?
dad.
Okay.
It was my dad. In 2019, um, the doctors told him that he was experiencing cancer. And I was in Hong Kong. I could see my dad is not the sort of person who would not get up from his bed. Okay, but during that time, he was just laying on his bed, feeling lethargic, lack of energy, and I'm like, whatever the doctor is saying, Papa, let me practice it with you. Let's practice the mantras. Let's practice the breath work and everything. And everyone was like, he cannot do it. And like, when you look into the soul journey of a family, so the family is the only, your immediate family is the only family that you can actually sit without their presence, because you're karmically connected to them. And so I'm like, okay, no problem. I did it religiously in the morning and in the evening. So in the scriptures, it's written in the morning is the Shiva energy, and in the evening is the Shakti energy. And there are two prevalent energies on this planet, male and female energy. So the morning I was praying to the male energy, and in the evening I was praying to the female energy. And you need both to cure. And my dad witnessed that on a daily basis, irrespective of whether he was sitting with me or not. He knew that I was walking away and praying in the morning and in the evening. 2 weeks after, he felt a lot lighter. He felt a lot lighter. He felt a lot comfortable. He's like, what are you practicing? Because I'm able to get out of my bed and come to you in your room. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. So I made him practice the breath work and the mantras alongside with me. And for my dad, uh, his operation went through. It was from like 7 in the morning to like 8:30 in the evening. So it was a very long procedure, operation, but it was successful because the doctors had given us 50% survival changes.
Wow.
Sorry, survival chances, not
Mm,
changes, survival
mm,
chances.
mhm.
And that's what happened. And that's when my mom was telling me, why don't you look into the medical field? Why don't you like study? And I'm like, Mama, this is not what I want to do in life. Little did I
Mm,
know that
mm.
I would have to study the human body, and uh, like and it's only in 2024 I learned human body system. And thereafter I sent an email to the, what did you say, my London hospital, to send me my reports to understand what my injuries were, because now I'm well versed with the human body functions and the physiology and the anatomy of it. So when I read that
Ishita,
report of my,
Let me intervene. Sorry, there was a break in the connection. So if you
so yeah,
can if you can go back uh, possibly 45 seconds and can repeat 45 seconds. You were talking
So what
about
did you
the medicine, the modern medicine, and something. Then it completely broke in between, and
I was talking
it was
about
about
my
report. The 12 hours.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
no, no.
operation.
You were talking about your mom saying, "Why don't you learn medicine?" And then after that, it broke.
Why don't I learn medicine? Because I mean, let's just face it, the medicine will require me to study for another decade. Okay. And as a child, I always felt that it is imperative to build my career around it. So studying medicine for like 10 years was out of the question. How long will it take for me to what do you say, how long would it take me to like begin earning?
Mm.
So that was not something that I was looking into. However, when the universe wants you to do something, it will make you do it. So instead of studying medicine, I studied human anatomy and physiology in 2024. And when I was well versed with all the human anatomy and physiology, all the body functions, that's when I sent an email to my London hospital. Uh, could you please send me the documents? Because I mean, at the time when I was living in London and now I live in Singapore. And since I was starting my life in Singapore, my whole physical reports, like I just took it and recycled it. Like I did not want to look at that phase of my life ever again. I'm going to a new country. I need to start with fresh and with no baggages from behind. Little did I know
Mm.
that this is something that I need to do. Uh, and yeah, so I requested my London hospital. They sent me, and when I read my reports, I was numbed. And I witnessed the grace, the gift I have today. Like if anyone sees me in person, they will never be able to identify that I was bedridden once.
That's phenomenal. Fantastic.
And it's not just my dad, it's also another 67, 68-year old who was experiencing cancer. By working with me in a span of 5 to 6 months, her chemotherapy dosage reduced.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good news.
It takes a lot of discipline from the person because I can only show you the tools, I can only show you the methods. It's the individual that
Not
needs to practice it themselves.
yeah,
Because
completely.
I don't have a magic wand that you will be cured. I can't do that because it's a
For sure.
discipline.
For
It's
sure.
a
For sure.
yeah, it's a discipline and it's a practice for ourselves, not
Very true.
for
Mm. I totally agree. Totally agree. But it requires faith also on this. I mean, faith has got some place also on this, right?
no. It's science.
With science.
It's science. Like I mean, the Japanese have done this theory, right, on plants. When you speak positively to the plant blossoms. And when you speak negatively to a plant, the plant is not even growing exponentially like the positive plant. So it's the words, the kind of words you use in your daily life, and what is inside you will be out. Like if you have negativity inside, all your negativity will be vomiting outside.
So words have to be chosen careful in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Your
And we do
words
not
have the
know.
most power,
Yeah, and we do not
right?
even consider about what we speak on a daily basis to whomsoever, including ourselves.
It's a science. And what I'm working on with people is projecting that uh, the kind of words into their internally the cellular frequency. But that
Fabulous.
requires time, effort, understanding of their environment and how uh, it can be implemented.
So, who can take up this path? A person who is a physically fit but facing challenges in their life otherwise. Okay, maybe relationship, maybe at work, maybe in social setting. There could be finances. There could be many areas in one's life. One could be facing challenges. Can he or she take up this path and kind of try and address that? How does it work?
Of course, anything that derails you, that makes you question, like I jokingly tell people sometimes, you don't have to break a bone to experience the grace, the experience, uh, the results. All you need to do is consciously change your thought patterns presently so that your future is taken care of. You can't do anything in the past. No matter what I wanted, could I change the fact that I was in the hospital? No, right? I was in the hospital. So the way I deliver my speech to introduce myself sometimes is like there are three abilities that everyone is aware of it, right? But not many people practice it holistically. And the first ability is the acceptance, accepting the situation as it is. No matter what I wanted that time when I was in the hospital, I could not change the condition I was in. I had to accept that situation exactly that is. The second is adaptability, adapting to the new reality, what is possible and what is not, right? What is possible, by whining, by complaining about it, you're just making your life a lot more miserable, right? At that point of time, adapting to what is possible. Could I change the 8 nurses coming to me daily and helping me move? No. I had to work around those 8 nurses to help me do it quickly, right? It's not just sitting over there. You have to show the first step of moving or changing. So that adaptability needs to be there. And the third is flexibility. Flexible with the approaches. You cannot be rigid with your path, right? You have to be flexible. You have to be flexible like water. When a situation arises, when a struggle, when when an issue arises, what does water do when obstacle, right? The water rises, moves around, and moves forward. So you have to always remember these three elements, and that's exactly what I did when I was in the hospital. That's exactly what I do with people around. Like, okay, wait, I know this has been upsetting you, but then you know what? That's another theory that comes into place, which is the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, right? There is a doorway between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, which is the alpha state of mind. Not many people are able to tap into the alpha state of mind by themselves. So when you speak about being on stage, I'm guiding them to reach that level of the alpha state of mind. And whatever emotions they are experiencing, or they need to heal, or they need to, that will surface up. And it's your responsibility to mitigate those emotions. How will you manage those emotions? Um, how will you work around it? That's not my responsibility. It's you. It's like it's the people, whoever I'm working with.
Yeah. So many people blame the circumstances, and what you are suggesting is totally opposite. Accept it and don't
Yeah,
blame. And that
yeah,
is where the process of healing or the changes starts. The positive change starts by
yes.
accepting.
And in every circumstances, I always tell people around me, find the pearl of wisdom. It's teaching you something. Even though this is something that I practice for other people, but I needed Ron to help me get back to my my thoughts.
All right. All right, we will not take much time here. I have maybe a couple of questions, more to do with uh, your understanding about the scriptures. So, my question is, from the scriptures, and the scriptures I'm referring to what popularly we know here in Indian context is the Gita, the Mahabharata, the Vedas, and many more. They are very vast. Okay, how do you decide what to draw from them? I mean, for people, for someone sitting in front of you today.
Okay, there is one thing that everyone needs to realize, and that is the Bhagavad Gita is deriving from the Mahabharata story. So the Bhagavad Gita has a lot of references from the Mahabharata. So I would request everyone to actually understand the story properly, the character's story properly, their emotions, because what I see, how I read the Bhagavad Gita is that it's a mirror of ourselves. We have experienced certain emotions, or we have experienced certain relatives or certain people around us. There's a Duryodhan in everyone's life who's jealous, who's envy, who is, how do you tackle that? There will be questions, and like when Arjun was at the battlefield on the first day of battlefield, when he saw that he's fighting against some people, right? So these are common situations that we will experience. What we need to do is we need to contemplate, we need to understand what the pearl of wisdom is there.
Mhm.
You have to follow your values, you have to follow what you're doing. Understand the
Totally.
why with every action of yours. Once you understand the why you're standing and having that conviction, that confidence, because when you are truthful, when you are in alignment with your values and your strength and your reasoning for that, you will be able to carry out your responsibilities. In that case, Karan was an amazing, talented, skillful person, but he wasted his talent by being used by Duryodhan,
Mhm.
right? So there are many nuances that we need to learn from that. Secondly, uh, the way how I look at this whole scriptures, first and foremost, it's important to decode uh, the mantra Om, right? Om
Mhm.
itself is a complete mantra because Om has Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, all three in that mantra itself. Akara, Ukara, Makara. Akara is the creation, Ukara is the sustenance, and Makara is the transformation. And in our daily life itself, as a leader, we are leading our life, right? Everyone is leading their life. We are either creating something new, we are sustaining some habits of us, or we are transforming by new experiences and new knowledge. So in our daily life, we are doing this on without being aware of it. We are unconsciously conscious about it. Unconsciously unconscious about it.
Unconsciously unconscious about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the right way to put it. All right.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. So it's good to know that Om in itself has everything inside. I mean, from creation to sustenance to transformation, as you say. The Mahesha uh, reflection is transformation.
Transformation. The Mahesh is also known as Shiva for those people who
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. 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 All right. My last question to you, Ishita, today is when someone comes to you today, what are you actually listening for? What's the thing modern approaches often miss that ancient wisdom catches?
The root cause of the struggles,
All right.
the root causes of the struggles that the ancient wisdom tackles, the modern lifestyle tries to cover it up and not let it affect you, because many times people feel that this is how the world operates. We just need to let go and move forward, however it is.
What I hear you saying that modern medicine is only symptomatically looking at things, while the ancient wisdom is going to the root causes, as you are putting it up.
Yeah. it's just a modern lifestyle, because there's so many distractions, there's so many elements. I would also say that in the modern lifestyle, everyone is looking for instant results, instant gratifications, is instant, like instant relief, right?
Hmm.
There's a pill for everything. Like even in some countries, you're able to purchase melatonin, which is a sleeping aid that can help you to just take it and have a good night's sleep, like fall asleep within half an hour. But you're not allowing your body natural rhythm to make space for it. So yeah, like it's a tough one, because some, like, in the world that we live in, like, we need instant results. So my method is slightly I it's slightly different, but it's in the long run, it will help you to be a lot more fitter and a lot more healthy than what a pill can do. Because like melatonin, okay, fine, if you're having 2 grams of it over a period of time, you'll have to increase the dosage because your body is already used to that. Why can't you tap into the body's natural intelligence to allow yourself to sleep? And there's so many mechanisms to do that.
Totally get
And
it.
because with melatonin or sleeping pills, the next day you're feeling grogginess. You're not, like, even though you have slept, but you've not slept enough. You don't have that quality sleep. So I'm all about bringing quality aspects in your life so that you have that support system. And I guess that's one of the reasons it took me forever, because I wanted my support system, which is my family, to be like, they are definitely not ahead, like they're not visible when I'm out and about, but intangible. Like, I know my family is always there for me to back me up.
Great. So, what is the one last message you would like to give our viewers, uh, which you possibly want to leave as a kind of piece of advice or something, a takeaway from this discussion?
Your body is the most powerful tool you will ever tap into. Give it some time. Give yourself some time to learn about it. The world is looking into AI, the world is looking into everything external, but the same amount of vastness is also within your body. Tap
Wow,
into that.
that's great. Thank you very much. So, this is now the wrap. Shita, thank you very much for being on this podcast with me today.
It's
And
my honor.
wishing you absolutely all the best, and look forward to working with you on Boundless You platform.
Yeah, let's create a bigger community and bigger collective consciousness to spread positivity.
Absolutely. Yeah, together we can. Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.